So today I want to share with you 5 life lessons from 2 books. And the first book is How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be by Jack Canfield. And then the second one is Pills and Shots by Victoria Odeshola. And I'm seriously hoping that by the end of this video, you'll have been inspired to read either one of these books. So let's learn some lessons. So I'll give a little background as to why I'm doing a review on some of these books today. For those that are joining this channel for the very first time, my name is Oladimeji Ajegbile, and at the beginning of the year 2019, I made some resolutions, and part of it was to read 2 books a month. But I ended up reading just one the very first month, and I decided to keep with the pace and read 1 book every month. And for the month of June and July, I was privileged to read these 2 books. And these 2 books are books that have actually really helped me a lot, and I decided to just let you understand some of the things I learned and how I believe it can actually help you the way they have helped me. Now, for the very first one, I'll be starting with how to get from where you are to where you want to be. Now, for this book, these books are not books you read just once and then you let go of them. They are books you can actually go over and over again because they are very, very important things inside. For example, Jack Canfield wrote this book for almost 30 years of his life, and my God, there are a lot of things written inside that I believe will really help you. If you really want to get the books, I'll drop a link in the description below for you to just do that. Now, for the very first one, the very first thing I learned from this book is to believe in yourself. Now, believing in yourself, I made a video about believing in yourself some weeks ago, and you can find it up here in the cards. But then it's just basic. For you to be able to start anything in life, the first step for you to do is actually believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, it might be difficult for others to believe in you or whatever it is you intend to do. I really don't know how else to explain this, but that's just it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to be confident that you can do something, and then you go ahead to do it. Now, the second one is something a little bit out of the box, but then it's still important. Now, the second one says that see what you want and get what you see. And there's a quote here by Albert Einstein that says, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions." So the way we visualize things, whether negative or positive, determines what we get from those things. If you're the kind of person that you don't see anything positive in everything happening, maybe in Nigeria or whatever you are, it will be very evident that certain things in your life will become negative. Now, but if you are a kind of positive person that you see things and then you believe there is hope, you're optimistic about these things, then you start to understand that the more things you see and the way you see them, that's the way you will receive them or achieve them. It's as easy as that. If you're the kind of person that believes that everything people do is probably a lie on social media, it will be difficult for you to believe the true things, and then it's what you see, you get eventually. So if you're someone that is very keen to understanding how things, like for example, I'm a very visual person. I like to see things, I visualize them in my head, and eventually I eventually tend to achieve these things I see, and then it becomes reality. So that's for this book. You could actually get it. It's a very amazing and lovely book. Now, for the second one, Pills and Shots. So I was privileged to have Victoria Odeshola on my podcast. Yeah, I host a podcast called Simple Creative, where we get to talk about starting up something from nothing, being able to leave a lasting impact on the world, and so many other beautiful things for all creatives out there. It comes out every Wednesday, so please just stick around, subscribe to this channel to see more about it. But for this particular book, I learned a lot of things. Yeah, actually, for the book itself, it has 50 doses of life for youth. These are daily experiences we can look through and actually become better persons through these things. But the very first one, which was the most important one I discussed with Victoria on my podcast, was the power in our words. Words are powerful, very powerful. Understand that the things you say to people at times can actually cause damage if they are bad things. Like we take it for granted, and the way we see words, I understand that words are creative. As you speak them, they have the power to actually do something by themselves. God created us to be creative persons, and then if God could speak things into reality, then we could actually speak things and then they happen. So how much more speaking positive things than negative? It's just something you should think about. I thought about it for a long time, and at the end of this video, I will play a bit of my discussion with Victoria so you can understand perfectly what I mean. And then the second one is that there is no rush in life. We all have our different destinations. not everybody will achieve the same goals, but then we all have everything separate for ourselves. So don't look at someone else as a yardstick for your success, which leads to the third one. Imitation breeds limitation. That's one of the doses in this book. Imitation breeds limitation. If you copy someone or you use someone as a standard, it is very likely that you won't get to that person's level, or the standard you set will be your greatest point of achievement because that person is already a standard for you. And then by the time you eventually achieve that standard, the person that you use as a yardstick at that particular point would have already surpassed you or that particular level in a very greater dimension. So it's better to be yourself, believe in yourself, see what you want and get what you see. As simple as that. And then words are powerful. Please understand that words are powerful. And after that, I talked about there's no rush in life. Everyone has their destinations, but be diligent to your own acts, and then don't imitate anybody. Be yourself. Be the best version of yourself you can be. There's a Bible verse I love so much. It says, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. It says that, for I know the thought I think towards you, said the Lord, thought of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Another version says to give you a future and a hope. So you have a future, you have a destination. It's just for you to align with whatever thing God has said about you. And I'm very certain that everything I've discussed with you today, if you stick to them, or if you are privileged to get any of these books, you'll be inspired as well. So that's about it for this particular episode. Please remember that my podcast releases tomorrow. Another episode comes out tomorrow. Every Wednesday, a new episode drops on iTunes and every other podcast platforms you use. And then there'll be a 10 minutes preview? Yeah, there'll be a 10 minutes version of that here on YouTube. So kindly subscribe to this channel to get updates on that. And I really appreciate everyone who's been a part of my podcast and a part of my channel so far. Thank you very much, guys. I love you, and see you next time. Okay, so talking about pills and shots, I think since I saw the book, I think this is one of my favorite books so far. Oh, so
great.
There are 50 doses of life for youth in this book. What's your favorite dose?
Okay, that's a difficult question, but one that's special to me is dose number 8, words.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Words. Wow. Mm-hmm. Words are powerful.
Very powerful. So the reason why this one is dear to me is because, like I said, most of these things are from experience. This one is a peculiar experience. Words are so much more powerful than we think.
Yeah.
Like a child could be built, a child could be destroyed by words. I can remember things that someone said to me when I was 8 years old, like a negative comment, and the thing still comes to me sometimes, flashes back to my mind, and it hurts still. It hurts still. I try to remember positive words that were said to me, and sometimes I draw a blank. But whenever I try to remember that particular negative comment, it's always just right there.
It comes very
exactly,
easy.
It comes very easily. So that's how it is, with all of us actually. Negative word that someone said is easier to remember than a positive word, And the generation we are in, people are careless with the way they speak. They just release words anyhow, and they don't realize the effect that it has on someone's life. You could drive someone into depression with the way you speak, with the words that you say, and we need to be more conscious of it. I think that's why I really wanted to write this one and, make people more aware about the power of our words. Life, death are in our words.